Good morning. I see we have some members with us already. If you would please drop a hello in the chat so I know who I'm talking to. Also, what we do in this coffee and stock sessions, if you're new to it, is we review the trades you want to look at going into the day. So if you have any trades you want to look at, also add that in the chat. If you have a position in those trades, please be sure to at least provide your price average so we can review it based on your current position. But other than that, thank you for being here. We do this every pre-market. If you're new here, we also do a coffee and stock sessions on Sunday. If you weren't aware, I mean on Saturday, excuse me, at 10 a.m. Central Time. We're moving our coffee and stock sessions a little bit further back in the morning to 7:30, so that we could spend an hour up until market open, and then potentially another 30 minutes to an hour after market open to review and see how trades are opening up for the day and how to better prepare going forward. Um, at the last segment, I will be discussing some stocks that we have that have saw some strong pullbacks, and uh, we want to review those going forward. But like I said, if you would just drop your name in the chat for me so I know who I'm talking to, and if you have any stocks that you're currently in, please, and you want to review those, please be sure to add those in the chat as well, and your price average if you have a current position. Um, and let us know whether or not you're looking to make a position. I'm getting a list of stocks together in order that we recently alerted on that had some strong pullback, and I want to go into detail in why. So while I'll wait on everybody to kind of catch up, I hope you have your coffee. I have mine. This is my second cup. As some of you may know, I'm going to go ahead and add the SPY here so we can look. I'm going to add Bitcoin here so we can determine our Bitcoin plays. I'm also going to add Tesla. To go ahead and get started, since we already have some people in here, SPY gapped down to 384 this morning. It was 385 when I first looked at the market. I kind of, alerted to this yesterday that we could see a potential pullback, but not some strong correction. Good morning, Justin. Glad to see you here for another coffee and stock sessions. You've been faithful to joining us every morning. But the SPY's pulling back, and I said that we were breaking this 387 level of resistance support yesterday, and to watch out for a potential pullback moving forward. Of course, the stock, I did say that the stock was going to go back up. I did expect a rebound, and as you can see, we came almost close to retesting our 13 EMA before dropping out after hours, and we pretty much tried to work above that support level going into after hours yesterday, and as you can see, we gapped down as well. Hold on, I didn't mean to pull all that out. Just pull my indicators out so we can get a clearer view here. Bitcoin broke a level of support yesterday that I identified at the 52,640. Pulled back just like the SPY did, but ultimately did the same thing going into after hours. I guess you would call after hours for our market, but throughout the night, had some strong pullback, found some support. I want to bring in my indicators here so we can kind of get a visual on what we're seeing here. MACD looks like we're rounding off. I would make sure that when we go into this green zone again, that MACD is showing much stronger signals than right here. Otherwise, we could see more pullback on Bitcoin. And I don't blame anyone for pulling back on Bitcoin, of course, due to the fact that it's raged so high. I'm pretty sure people are going ahead and locking in some of those profits. I'm looking into news as of why, it's doing that. If there's anything specific going on in the crypto market to cause for this, other than people just, capturing their gains. As we see, Tesla is still surging down. I said that we would be looking to hit 681 yesterday morning. And as you see, we're sitting at 676. And actually having issues finding support above that. So it's kind of crazy that support level. We conducted a support to resistance reversal here. And these are things I want to point out to keep in mind moving forward on how these key levels play such an important role. it's a good buying opportunity if you're looking to capture some more Tesla on the bottom on the way back up to 880. There's so much good news going on with Tesla. I can't necessarily find anything other than the fact that people in Texas couldn't get in their cars while there was a snowstorm because they didn't have door handles. Other than that, I've pretty much seen all good news on Tesla. I can pull up here on my TDA account so we can see some news here. Let's see. Do I have my news? Yeah, I do. Live news here. We can go into a little bit more in depth. CCIV did close their merger with Lucid Motors, but I alerted on that stock. I did a review on the stock and kind of tried to give everyone a forewarning on, the pullback. And shortly after that, it dropped to like $30-40. It was crazy. You can review that in our playlist for daily trade reviews once we're done with this session. I got some feedback from somebody yesterday. They kind of let me know that maybe we shouldn't spend too much time on some of these stocks. So I want to run through them a little quicker than normal. As I said, if we broke on BLNK, if we broke the 44 support level, we were going back to 37.50. As you see, we gapped down close to those support levels. Hopefully Tesla will reverse going into today's trading session and moving forward in order to allow the rest of the EV market to come back up with it. It's really weighing down on the EV market strong. And as long as we're going down on Tesla, you can expect that moving forward. And what I'll do, looking at these EV plays that we have listed, I'll go ahead and add Tesla in here, and you can see how well it correlates with some of these stocks. And so, if you're in EV plays, be sure to pay attention to what's going on with Tesla, figuring out why this pullback is so strong on Tesla, and trying to find the support levels on Tesla is ideal here. As you already know, some of you already know, I identified that 681 level on Tesla was a key level of support that I was looking to find because it played at resistance here. People called me crazy for even saying Tesla was coming back down, but it did, and it's reality. But going forward, looking at RMO, same trend line. RMO is a smaller stock. RMO also broke below our support level here after gapping down, which was concerning. It's at 13.16. But like I said, hopefully we can see Tesla reverse, and if we do, then it provides an opportunity to buy at a lower price in some of these stocks. I know some people hold positions in them. We got caught in RMO about 18.53, and I have faith that it's still going. Yeah, I'm not concerned at this time for particular stock. Understood. I think a lot of people are seeing a lot of red. Some people are alluding to a crash looming. Some people are just saying that it's a correction. I think it's just a correction. We can go look at the SPY once we're done to see how it's performing. I'm going to go ahead and pull back on having this comparison in here. At the end of this segment, too, we're going to look at some trades that we pushed out here in February that have saw a lot of retracement and going into defining how we're going to manage this trade. Some of them we're going to close going into today. Some of them we're going to up our positions on based on what we do in trend analysis. I was going to do this yesterday, but I wanted to wait so you guys could see it in real time and kind of get an idea of how I'm playing it. Gtech, another EV play, industrial commercial EVs, mainly focused on construction type vehicles and stuff. Currently trading sideways. I was hoping to see this stay along this trend line. We currently hold a strong position in this, and we're actually, adding to the position as a long-term potential growth stock for us here at Millennial Investments. But it pulled back. We're at the 1210. Everything's gapping down this morning, almost just like what we saw yesterday. With most of the stocks we've been reviewing in coffee and stocks, I'm going to focus on SNDL. I've pointed out to everyone that 136 is a very strong key level of support. And we're currently trading at 129. I have some calls on it, so I know I'm going to see some dips in my liquidity in my account, but I'm still faithful in the stock myself only because of the fundamentals behind it, not because of, it being a pump and dump and so on and so forth. But it pulled back to 129 this morning, and we're looking to see how it reacts to these levels next if we rebound. But as you can see, it played a strong, where it's currently at, played a strong support level before. As long as this doesn't go back to 52 cents, anything below $1, they just regained their compliance, being compliant with the who are they? The Nasdaq. So they're currently a listed stock, good in good compliance with the Nasdaq. So looking to see how it reacts in market open. If we see a surge down, we're probably going to close our calls for now, and then look for positions at a lower price point. Some of them we have all the way until 2022, so pretty confident in letting those stay there. As I told you all yesterday, OEG, if we broke this trend line below 783 and retested these 710s, we would be moving further down. What I do want to do with this is take the time to look over what our next support levels are going to be. We could potentially see this retest the 489. I'm not saying that. Hopefully we can find some support at the 582. But we have currently broke the strong trend line that it's been trading on. So two of them, matter of fact. PRVB actually bounced up shortly. Of course, it bounced up after I closed my call options on it. I had a few. And it's back to where we originally bought those call options. Let me see when we pushed that. Yeah, it was at 15.69 when I placed those call options. So it's shortly under that. Bounced, retested $16 this morning. Found some rejections there and pulled back to the 15.49. Let's look at ZOM. I tried warning everybody that if we broke below the 212 here, we would be retesting the 194. And as you can see, it gapped down there. I can go in a little bit on the time frame. I know this can kind of be hard to see for some people, but I want to keep our key levels here so we can pay attention to what we're watching. And of course, as you see, we're below that 194 as I expected. I expected to find support above that 194, honestly, but the fact that we're below it is concerning. That creates a new support level around this 176 to 179 area, which it bounced right off of. It was currently rejected and found support here before, which confirms why it's sitting where it's at. NXTD, same thing here. Anything below 211, if we retested 211, we're coming back down. But if I feel like I need to readjust my support level, no, I based it off of previous support. But everything's gapping down, as you can see. Some people look at it as an issue and want to pull out of sales. Pull out of trades. Some people look at it as an opportunity to buy more. Just be careful averaging down. I believe in, good morning, Chad. How are you doing? Glad you're here with us. Everyone else that's with us, please be sure to drop your name and drop a good morning in the comments or in the chat so I know who I'm talking to. If anybody has any stocks they want to add to the list, please feel free to do so. We can review those and continue reviewing them and follow the trades. That's what this is about. Anyways, so broke an important trend line going into pre-market yesterday. I want to get a little bit closer as we found support that we gapped down below it. So now we have to find support back above that trend line before we expect this to move in the same direction it was before. This could bounce right back to the 356 come market open. Hopefully we find support there versus finding resistance underneath it like we're seeing with some of these stocks. Of course, everybody knows Nokia broke down a little bit more yesterday. We broke below the 416 about a week ago, and I pulled out of the stock about 2 weeks ago once I saw how it reacted to its earnings after having good earnings and stuff that in that nature. Everything, as you see, is currently breaking down, and like I said, people are stating that it's a looming market crash, and that some people are saying it's just corrections, which is, it needs a correction if anything. I wouldn't say that it needs a crash, but I personally watched the stock market blow up while Main Street was dying, and it didn't make sense to me. Which and how I feel like that occurred is because, you know, uh, uh, estimates during earnings reports during 2020 were not set, so that allowed stocks to quote unquote overperform than expected, um, and I feel like it caused this glass floor to be built. And I do feel like if there were to be a crash or even a strong correction, I've been saying a 10% correction for some time now, which would put the SPY about 360 um, at the 390 levels. But um, it caused this glass floor, which is not okay to hold the weight of this entire stock market on. And so that's always been a concern of mine, is that the stock market's been flooded with new liquidity, new investors and stuff like that. So more liquidity is hitting the markets. I think we're at this time of year we're at about 7 billion trades averaging a day. Now we're at 15 billion. So that shows you the influx and new investors and more liquidity hitting the market and things of that nature. And so it's pumping up this market that is not correlating with the actual economy that relies on it, or and vice versa. But anyways, moving forward with ARCC, holding pretty strong. Looks like we found some resistance here at the 1873. We're looking to retest. I think I identified before that it's never really been above the 1873s. It has traded there for a few weeks, but then found strong rejection and resistance, and that's where it ultimately, this is the March crash, of course. So we are trading pre-pandemic levels here, so we could potentially see this continuing to grow, is what I want to state here. Not saying that it's never going to get above 1873. It's just for that time span we found issues staying above there. I believe the stock can continue moving forward once we break above those 1873 levels, and then we'll retest the 2055s. ANC, a lot of people were talking about it, had a strong bounce, I think to like, what was the top on that? It was like 720. I still don't, I'm gonna base my opinion off of the technical analysis before I say anything else. I stated that we needed to get above the 659. As you can see, we retested that right here. It found resistance and pulled back strongly. Not strongly, about 20 cents, and then rebounded to retest it. And now we broke out and we're finding support. Okay, from there, we can continue moving, a little bit higher. I'm not going to say it's going to explode again. A lot of people are hoping that it explodes again because they lost so much money during this time frame. But in order for it to continue moving forward, now we have to retest the 974 and potentially move higher. The company did utilize the fact that so much liquidity was coming into the stock from the short squeeze movement, and hopefully they managed that money well, that they were able to access and tap into. But I still feel like there's a lot of recovery for the stock overall. If we go back to 2020, we're trading near pre-pandemic price levels, so it's nothing amazing. It's where it should be. And honestly, I don't see a lot of hope in it because, I mean, I'm trying to be very cautious how I state some of these things. Of course, we have vaccines coming out. We have more vaccine. We have vaccines already being administered, and we have more vaccines coming to the economy, back into the population. Sure, but it's still going to take time for us to be confident. Some people to be confident to go sit in a large auditorium, if you call it, to watch a movie. So I just, unless the company sees something different, I don't see it, outperforming, is how I'll put that. DNN, let's see where we're at on the 1 hour. Had some pullback. I said yesterday that we would potentially be coming back to the 97-cent levels. Hopefully we find some support there. It looks like we might be finding some good support around the 107. But to continue, APG still doing fantastic as expected. We identified the trend lines on this. Let me pop this up a little bit for you so you can kind of see it a little bit better. Looking good moving forward. What's your thoughts on NEOs? I bought in at 38 and it's dropping. NEO is a part of the EV play. I'm not sure at what point you jumped into this live stream, but Tesla is currently trading at 675. That's weighing down on the entire EV market, with Tesla being a market leader in the EV industry. So as long as Tesla is going down, everything's going to go down with it. and I've been saying that for the past few days. I expected to pull back on Tesla, but not this strong. And there's not much news to justify why Tesla is pulling back. So all we can do is follow the momentum in the stock and see if we can see some reversal on it. As I told you yesterday, Pfizer could potentially retest. I think it was the $29 price levels or somewhere near that. 32 first is what we're looking to retest. It broke that 34.56. We're looking to retest the 32.86 now that it broke its longer term trend, and hopefully find that support like it did here. If the momentum's too strong to the downside, then we're retesting the 29.99. That's what it was. Bingo, looking at Bingo, I'm going to pull it in a little bit. Bingo was doing very well. Going into Monday's trading session, we saw some strong pullback on it, which was hard to watch. Broke a long-term trend line, and we're breaking our level of support that we were hoping to find support. But I said that if we would, because of momentum to the downside, this was before it even started coming down, that we would potentially find support within this price range between 10 to 11 and 17. So hopefully we find some support here at the 10. If not, then I expect to potentially find support at the 721. So I'm going to add any new levels of support that we identify here as a different color so it stands out for us, and I will turn those purple. Those are new levels that we're predicting. To continue down the list though, I'm gonna have to take like a 10 to 15 minute intermission here in a second, because the kiddos are back in school. We finally are losing the snow that we've had here in Louisiana, and then I'll be back to continue going into pre-market open. So with BGI, looks like we broke our support level. I kept saying that we have to stay above 273. And now that the fact that we're at 256, I expect this to potentially retest the 205. But if you look at it from the terms of its current trend, let's pay attention to how it reacts to this trend line. So we could see a reversal where it bounces right back up, but if it breaks that trend line, then we are going to retest the 205 moving forward. Yes, the kids are back in school, bro. Oh yeah, today's my birthday, by the way. So I'm spending this morning. Thank you, baby. I appreciate it. My daughter just told me happy birthday. But I'm spending this morning with you guys looking at some potential opportunities. Looking at socket, we were looking to find support with this current consolidation from that $35 breakout to the $10 price levels. Let's see how it reacts to that before we make any decisions whether it's a good buy-in opportunity or if we're gonna pull back a little bit more. As you see, we see this large gap right here, about a $2 to $3 gap that could potentially be filled. This was all based on momentum, so watch out. These are things we need to talk about and look at. What time is it? All right, I have about a few more minutes, then I'm gonna have to take an intermission. Thank you, I appreciate it. Looking at PLTR, I did some reviews on this yesterday, and I got some flack for it. I said that, watch out for this to retest. I can't even see what that price level is, but 25.96. We found support above it. I said that we were going to look for some support right here. I'm going to turn this a different color so we can identify that moving forward. We were looking for support. Let's see if we bounce off of this. I'm not saying the stock's going to completely pull back unless the market pulls back strongly, but we can potentially start trading sideways, I think, in this channel with my review. So I think that's what's going to occur here. As you see, we have dipped below it, so we might see some dips. I'm going to go ahead and bring that in here real quick so we can identify that. We could potentially see some dips here. As long as we do and find support above the 22.95, we could see some reversal to the upside, continue moving forward. As far as you broke a level of support that I was hoping that it would stay above. But as of yesterday, I was hoping we'd find support and bounce back to the 142. I believe Miss Pandy had a want to look for a position in this. Like I said, you're finding, you can look at this pullback as one of two things. You can look at it as an additional buying opportunity for stocks that you weren't able to get into at certain price levels, or you can look at it as a concern and panic sell like most people do. I like to look at situations like this to buy stocks cheaper. Now, it's when and where you buy it is the next question. And what I would look for in Unity is how we react to this 10-10, and if we find support at the 100 if it breaks below the 10-10. So watch out for that moving forward. We alerted on ONTX last week, and it is on our short list of stocks that we may be closing. We expected a pullback about the 141, but not a strong gap down like it's been. But we did find support at around, it looks like, the 124. So let's see how it reacts to that going into today. Of course, snow. We said that. Be careful with this one, that we could retest the 267. As you see, it did gap down this morning and found support. Currently at 270 right now. It found that support off the 267. Might be a great time to buy into it. Just because it hits that trend line does not mean right now is the time to buy into it. Let's see how it reacts to these key levels, and that's why we're identifying them the way we are, because if it breaks down even lower, then we're potentially looking at going all the way back to 230, which is yet another great buying opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and add that for my own reference later. And then I have a few more, and then I'm going to have to step away. We'll do a quick intermission, and we'll come back, and there's about 15 stocks I want to look at that are currently underperforming in our trade alert list, but I want to show you how we are reacting to them. SFTW was added to the list yesterday. Broke support at 1475. I said we were going to pull back to the 1342, and we did. We found support. The biggest concern here is this $2 price gap that we could potentially fill if it doesn't keep the support going into market open this morning. So watch out how we play the 1342 here. If we break below it, then look out below for the 1128. And then the last one we had on the list was CLSN. Broke 279. Everything's breaking these support levels that we're identifying, but it's good because we can see how we can react with the reactions of the stocks themselves. So broke support level at 279. I would like to go back and review my video, which I will while I'm sitting in the car line and drop my daughter off. But we found support at a previous level of resistance at the 230, and it bounced strongly off of it, rejected a little bit, trying to reverse to the 279, and then found new support again. So that kind of confirms our support here if you're in the stock or looking to get into it. This was actually a FDA fast track. I think a company that is focused on a solution for ovarian cancer, based on what I remember from talking about it yesterday. But like I said, back to what is reality and focusing on how the stock price is reacting to what's going on in the market. Currently finding support on the 230 very strongly. I want to look over the spot real quick, see how we're reacting here first. It still looks like we're in a downward trend, as you can see. I've been saying that the stock market can pull back to these 368 levels, and based on what we're currently seeing in this price action with the SPY, we are headed that direction. Now, I don't want people to panic because I'm saying things like this, but as long as we stay in this trend line, we will head back to that direction. That might be an opportunity to go all cash for right now. Put your cash to the side. That might be an opportunity to short and catch money on the way down, specifically shorten the SPY. As you can see, it's gapped down for 2 days straight. With it gapping down 2 days straight, it might gap down to about the 383 and then rebound, which is fine. A lot of people think that the correction is not going to be as high as we thought it was, and that's fine. But at least we know when the market's going back up, if it stays above that 383 level. Bitcoin, let's look at it because it has something to do with our Bitcoin plays, crypto plays in the stock market. As you can see, it broke down this morning, as I said earlier, for some of you that were a little late getting in here, and it found support right at these $45,000 levels. Now, Bitcoin's a concern, though, because I don't know if you remember back in 2017, it hit 20,000 and then dropped back down. Once again, a new position, new point to buy at better prices. I'm not buying Bitcoin specifically myself. I'm looking for altcoins that are based off of Bitcoin because they tend to perform better after Bitcoin has had its run. Most of the liquidity is moved out of Bitcoin and moved into altcoins that are below it if you're a crypto trader. Let's see how Tesla is currently seeing. As you can see, we're still having issues coming back above the 681. So that previous level of resistance is now a new level of resistance where it's currently at, instead of reversing to that level of support. It could bounce above. People might freak out and think that, this is a great opportunity to get in Tesla, and I'm not going to say that it's not. These pullbacks are great opportunities to catch stocks on the way down at lower prices. So I'm going to take a quick intermission. Hopefully you guys can bear with me for about 15 minutes, and then I'll be back, and we'll move on. But for right now, I got to go. Thank y'all for being here. Otherwise. What I'm going to do is go ahead and close out this live trading session and then reopen it so everybody can be notified that we are restarting. But thank you for holding. Somebody just jumped back in here with us. What I'm going to do is go ahead and close this stream and then open another one so everybody can be notified.